Good afternoon. This is Mrs. Pearson, 8th grade math teacher from Reading Junior High, and I'm just going to do a quick tutorial on how to solve simple interest problems and compound interest problems so that you have some guidance on how to do these problems during this distance learning that we're going through. First, you should have a copy in your notebooks or binders of the reference materials. There's star chart, your teacher might have called it, and if not, it's probably on Canvas, or you can simply Google it to find it because you do need these formulas that are at the bottom. Simple interest formula is the second to last one, and compound interest is the last one, so you will use those. You'll also see these throughout the modules on Canvas. I'm just going to go through two problems, both of them using the same principal, the same rate, and the same time. And you'll see the difference between simple interest and compound interest. On this one, principal is $2,000, the rate is 8%, and the time is 3 years. So you could think of this as you are depositing $2,000, and the bank is going to give you 8% interest rate, and you're going to keep it in there for 3 years. Or you could think of it as a loan where you're borrowing $2,000 and the bank is going to charge you 8% and you're going to borrow it for a total of 3 years. If the interest is calculated using simple interest, the simple interest formula from the star chart is I equals PRT, where P is the principal, R is the rate, and T is the time. One important thing that you need to remember is that time is always expressed in years. So this is already in years, so we're going to leave it as at 3. Since the principal is 2,000, we're going to put 2,000 in for P, 0.08 in for R, and 3 in for T. You could also just leave the percent as 8%. Instead of changing it to a decimal. Either way, whichever way you're most comfortable putting it in your calculator. And once you put those in, then you're going to get $480. So let me just show you really quickly. We have 2,000 times, what was it, 0.08, or I'll do the percent, so it's, in case anybody needs that, the percent sign is up here, times 3 years, and we get 480. Okay, again, that means that that's the amount of interest that was earned, or the amount of interest that was accrued on the loan. So that's not your new total, that is just the interest. So if you want to know the new total, you'll have to add the original amount of $2,000 plus the interest. So be careful and make sure that you know what the question is actually asking, if it's asking for just the interest or if it's asking for the new total. Now for compound interest, the formula is different. It starts out with A equals P times the quantity 1 plus R to the T power. So A means the amount in the account after this all happens. So that is the new total, or the new amount. P, of course, is principal, and R is rate, T is time, again expressed always in years. So we just substitute the numbers in again, and you can change the percent to a decimal by moving it 2 decimal places, or you can leave it as 8%. Now I want to show you on the calculator, on your phone calculator, how to do this. Again, we're going to, let me clear it out, 2,000 times, and you have to put the parentheses in. So I'm going to push this parenthesis, and you'll notice nothing changes up by the number. So I pushed parenthesis, but I don't see a change yet, but it did what it's supposed to do. So inside the parentheses I have 1 plus, and I want to do 8% again, so I'm going to push 8 in percent. And then I have to do the end of the quantity, so I have to push the end of the parentheses over here, the second button. Now all of that is raised to the third power. So you've done some of these before. Since this happens to be to the third power, we could do x to the third, but I'm going to show you another way to do that. You can, this x to the y power button, if you touch that, again, it looks like nothing has happened, but it's highlighted here, and that tells you that you're now entering the exponent. So whatever your exponent is going to be, is you now enter it in the computer or in the calculator. Our exponent is 3, so I push 3, and that shows up right there. And then, and I hit enter, and I get $2,519.424, and I round to the nearest hundredth, since this is dealing with money. So there's my answer, and again, A means the total amount in the account. So that does not mean, if you look at the difference between simple and compound interest, this is a very low number. That simple interest is very low compared to the compound interest. There's not that much of a bit difference in the interest for this small amount of time. It's that this one just shows the interest. This one shows the total amount. So if we wanted to find just the interest for this one, we would have to take the new total amount minus $2,000, and that would give us the amount of interest that we have, that we've earned or accrued. So our interest for this one would be $519.42. I want to show you one other way, fortunately for all of us who don't work these problems on a regular basis. We have someone has created a calculator for us. So if you can't do the calculations on your phone, you can go to, and this is embedded in the modules, you'll see this compound interest calculator here. And if you click on that, it takes you to this image right here. And you can enter the numbers in here. The principal amount was $2,000, the rate is 0.08, and the number of years was 3. Again, remember that you have to change this to a decimal. You cannot put 8 in there. It is 8%, which is the equivalent of 0.08. And the number of years is 3. And when you hit enter, then it calculates it for you. You just have to round. So I hope that helps with a few reminders. Again, make sure you're in here changing the percent to a decimal. Make sure that you are rounding correctly. Make sure you're using the proper formula. Make sure you're reading the question carefully so that you know if it's asking for interest or if it's asking for the new total amount. And if you have any questions, email your teacher. Have a great day.